Next up, T-Mobile is going to stop selling the OnePlus 7 Pro. Now, T-Mobile, this was a big deal for OnePlus to get on a carrier of that scale in North America. They previously hadn't. But T-Mobile is going to stop selling the OnePlus 7 Pro, not because they're getting out of the OnePlus business completely, but because they want to consolidate the product line and offering. And it appears that they feel like the OnePlus 7T is actually the more attractive package than the 7 Pro. And I don't know that they're wrong about that. They might be right, depending on the user, of course. The 7T, you get the little tiny notch, which I always forget the name of. I always say water drop notch, but some have called it other things. Anyway, it's the tiny little crown jewel looking notch, which is barely there, as opposed to the motorized camera. Of course, you also have the triple lens setup on the back of the 7T, which is a totally different format. Teardrop notch. Did I say water drop? See, I thought it wasn't teardrop because it's kind of negative. Why are you crying? So I think they went with water drop, but honestly, I don't quite remember. So T-Mobile, they're going to pull the 7 Pro. Apparently, OnePlus only accounted for 1.3% of sales in T-Mobile stores. So not really the big success story maybe that OnePlus was looking for. I'm not sure what their projections were for moving product via T-Mobile, but it looks like maybe the price point was an issue. As you know, OnePlus has consistently moved up market with that price point. Originally being tagged the flagship killer with a substantially lower price in around the $500 price point. The 7 Pro brought them all the way to $700. It brought them all the way to $700, and maybe sort of shifted the identity too far away from the core customer. I'm just speculating. I'm not saying that's the case. I used the 7 Pro for an extended period of time. It's still got some features you're not seeing elsewhere, like the 90 hertz display OLED. But then again, you put out the 7T, it has pretty much the best stuff from the 7 Pro, except it's cheaper by $100. Am I correct about that? It's $100 cheaper, right? Well, yeah. 7T. So that's going to launch on T-Mobile on October 18th, the 7T, and the 7 Pro will be phased out. And so you'll have to be okay with that. But I don't think it's such a big deal. I don't know which one I would recommend right now, but it's hard to say. Some people want the futuristic feel. They want the motorized camera and so forth. Certainly the Pro version has that going for it, that sci-fi effect of, launch the front-facing camera, bezel-less situation. But when it comes to practicality, functionality, I mean, the 7T is going to do basically the exact same thing for $100 less. So I kind of see where T-Mobile's coming from. We'll see if they have more success with it. It comes back to our earlier topics about where that price sensitivity lives. It appears to me, Will, that it's right. It's almost like right in that $100 range, somewhere between $600 and $700. Yeah. Just like Apple seemed to figure out with their model, they decided to drop it $50 from the 10R to get below that 700 tick. Maybe for OnePlus, that same effect takes place at the $600 tick.
Maybe, yeah.
It's possible. I don't know. I'm out here. I'm speculating. I'll say it. I'm guessing. We'll see what happens with the T model. And we'll see how OnePlus approaches pricing from this point forward, if they have maybe also found their price threshold at that $700 price point.